Ladies and gentlemen, let us cast our gaze upon the unfolding drama within the Women's National Basketball Association, for we are witnessing a spectacle so profoundly disorienting, so inherently fraught with conflict, that it demands our immediate and unwavering attention. We stand at a juncture where the lines between competition and collaboration, between advocacy and self-interest, have become irrevocably blurred. Consider, if you will, the extraordinary circumstance of a co-founder and co-owner of a nascent rival professional basketball league known as Unrivaled, actively engaging in the strategic council of WNBA players regarding their collective bargaining agreement status. This individual astonishingly simultaneously occupies a prominent position as a vice president within the WNBA Players Association itself. This is not merely an unusual arrangement, it is an egregious, almost farcical conflict of interest that every time I articulate it sounds more incredulous than the last. That players can hold executive power within the union of one league while owning a competing venture, it is a fundamental contradiction, a baffling entanglement that should, by any logical standard, be entirely unsustainable. This glaring ethical paradox, this profound lack of clarity in roles and loyalties, creates a backdrop against which the WNBA and the NBA have executed a strategic maneuver of breathtaking intelligence and foresight. While the players' union, it appears, is navigating this labyrinth of competing interests, the league delivered a masterstroke yesterday. Despite operating under a moratorium, a period conventionally understood as a pause in significant business dealings, the WNBA, with the backing of the NBA, initiated the distribution of qualifying offers to its free agents. On the surface, this might appear to be a mundane administrative step, but make no mistake, this is a meticulously calculated, deeply incisive play designed to cut through the rhetoric and confront players with an undeniable financial reality. The brilliance lies in its directness. These offers are tethered to the terms of the current collective bargaining agreement. This means the proposed salaries reflect the older, lower figures, not the significantly elevated compensation the players have so vociferously demanded. The league is not seeking immediate signatures on these outdated contracts. Rather, it is compelling players to confront, in tangible dollar figures, the immediate, real-world consequences of their current negotiating posture. This is a deliberate, highly effective gambit to force players to start thinking about salaries, to anchor their aspirations in the concrete, verifiable numbers that dictate their professional livelihoods. And in the intricate, high-stakes theater of labor negotiations, such unvarnished clarity is not just smart, it is absolutely crucial. This strategic astuteness from the league could not have come at a more opportune moment, for the court of public opinion, that tempestuous and often capricious arbiter of perception, has undergone a seismic and undeniable shift. Not so long ago, the prevailing sentiment regarding the WNBA negotiations leaned heavily, almost instinctively, towards the players. There was a general, sympathetic consensus that, yes, they need more money, blah, blah, blah. The narrative was largely one of righteous struggle, of athletes fighting for their deserved share. However, that empathetic tide has now unequivocally turned. The public's perception, fueled by the union's recent actions and their overarching communication strategy, has become far more critical, far more skeptical. The sentiment has hardened, crystallizing around the notion that the owners have given you the money's on the table. This dramatic reversal in public favor is a direct, undeniable consequence of the players' own tactical choices and their public pronouncements. We have witnessed an unfortunate and increasingly counterproductive tendency for personal shots to be taken, for the complex dynamics of labor economics to be conflated with broader social reform issues within the context of a collective bargaining agreement. The optics of these choices have been, to put it mildly, less than ideal. We have seen the deployment of ridiculous inflatable rats, those well-trodden symbols of labor protest, and the projection of digital banners from trucks. While these actions are undeniably intended to convey a profound sense of grievance and solidarity, their impact, divorced from a clear and profitable business context, has been to contribute to a perception that borders on the farcical. It is beginning to feel to many observers like low-budget AA baseball out there by the players' union. This image, this unfortunate framing, undeniably detracts from the gravity of the financial negotiations at hand. It forces a bewildered public to ask, okay, come on, stop this nonsense. The entire tone of the player-side communication now feels personal, imbued with a palpable sense of revenge because they think they haven't made enough money all these years. But this emotionally charged framework, this deep-seated desire to rectify past perceived injustices, fundamentally clashes with the cold, hard, undisputed financial reality that governs the WNBA. How, one must logically ask, can the owners, the individuals who bear the ultimate responsibility for the fiscal solvency and long-term viability of this league, ever genuinely look at these demands for profit sharing, at these accusations of historical undervaluation, and take it seriously when they themselves, by their own admission and by public record, have never turned a profit? This is not merely a negotiating point. It is the inconvenient yet immutable truth that underpins their entire position. It is analogous to demanding a larger, more equitable slice of a pie that has, in fact, never been baked. This fundamental economic reality appears to be entirely conspicuously absent from the players' public discourse. Do they not acknowledge this foundational business truth? None of the players ever bring up the fact that this league's never made a profit. None of them. And yet, this is not some arcane secret sequestered in financial reports. It's common knowledge. Indeed, even casual sports fans, those who profess little to no interest in the WNBA, are acutely aware of its historical financial struggles, precisely because it was a run, it's been a running joke forever. The league's perennial inability to generate profit has long been a whispered jest, a cynical punchline in sports circles. Even the significant, albeit tragic, public attention garnered by the Brittany Griner situation, while undoubtedly elevating the league's profile, did not fundamentally alter its underlying economic structure. But the dynamic of this negotiation has, for the first time, shifted dramatically. Now, owing to the league's bold and substantial new offer, everybody knows there's real money on the table. Let us dissect this because the figures themselves are a powerful testament to the transformative potential currently being weighed. Under the recently expired collective bargaining agreement, the typical player's salary often hovered around the $250,000 mark. The newly tabled offer directly from the owners dramatically elevates this. A player could see their salary skyrocket to $1.2 million. This is not a marginal adjustment, a mere incremental increase. This represents a staggering, almost unprecedented 6 times salary increase in the initial phases of the proposed agreement. And by the time the newly offered CBA reaches its full term, that figure could balloon to almost a 9 times salary increase for the players. These are not trivial sums. This is not pocket change. This is a lot of bread just laying there to be picked up. This is transformational wealth, money that directly addresses many of the players' long-stated desires for financial stability, for the ability to build a secure future, and for profound improvements in their quality of life. I articulated this very point in a previous commentary, observing the almost ironic surge in our viewership, with hundreds of new subscribers joining us, often having rediscovered our channel after inadvertent unsubscriptions, all while this crucial financial information was being disseminated. It speaks volumes about the public's thirst for unfiltered insights into this truly unprecedented situation. The money, because it has been formally offered from the league, is no longer a theoretical abstraction. It is now simply laying there. Imagine the stark reality for a player currently earning perhaps $100,000 annually. Envision them metaphorically walking down the street, and there, directly in their path, is $500,000. That's 5 years worth of salary just in the first year alone of the new CBA. The very notion that one would deliberately leave its setting and I'm going to keep walking seems, to the rational observer, utterly incomprehensible. Yet that is precisely the decision players are currently being asked to contemplate. This is not about a minor pay adjustment. It is about seismic financial shifts that offer profound, life-altering potential. This is the difference between going from your, $2,500 a month apartment to buying yourself a home. This is about the very real acquisition of life-changing assets, of establishing roots and securing futures. The players have consistently articulated a desire for stability. They have voiced a compelling need for the ability to change their lives. And now, for a significant segment of the league, they have buying home money on the table. It is imperative to emphasize that this discussion is not solely or even primarily about the undisputed superstars, the Caitlins and the Asia and the Angels, Sabrinas that have all these endorsement deals. Their financial situations, while certainly benefiting from increased salaries, are often substantially cushioned by highly lucrative external sponsorships and personal branding opportunities. No, we are referring here to the foundational players, the very backbone of the league, the 6th through 10 player, 11 player on the bench. These are the individuals whose lives would be fundamentally and irrevocably transformed by such a dramatic increase in their guaranteed income. Their opportunity is immense. And this leads us to a deeply controversial, yet increasingly inescapable possibility that is now being openly debated: the hypothetical scenario of replacement players. What if, pushed to the brink, the league were to adopt an aggressive stance, opting to go forward with replacements and our rookies? While the full legal and contractual ramifications of such a move are undoubtedly complex, and while players are currently under contract, the notion of just get replacement players is gaining considerable traction in public discourse. This isn't as far-fetched as it might initially appear, particularly given the current distribution of star power within the league. Consider this crucial demographic reality. Much of the stardom in this league, almost all of it, is people on rookie contracts. This is a profound and often overlooked truth about the WNBA's current appeal. Think of the names that are driving viewership and generating buzz. Rakia Jackson, Sonia Sentra, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston. A veritable ton of players are already delivering immense value, drawing eyeballs and cultivating dedicated fan bases, all while operating under the financial strictures of their relatively inexpensive rookie deals. We understand the inherent hierarchy, of course, and we cover Caitlin Clark on this channel. We acknowledge and celebrate her unparalleled impact on the league's visibility. But here is the critical, almost brutal point. If you were to take just those people under rookie contracts and throw them out there with replacement players from anywhere else, what would be the actual quantifiable impact on the league's primary metric of success, its viewership and ratings? My assessment is stark. Guess what? The ratings are not going to look much different at all. Indeed, I am so confident in this assertion that I'd be willing to bet they would look no different. The core appeal, the magnetic force that is drawing millions of new viewers to the WNBA, resides overwhelmingly in these burgeoning young stars. The excitement generated by Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers, the intrigue of Caitlin Clark versus Sonia Sentra, that captivating content is still all on the table. Even if, hypothetically, a veteran star like an Angel Reese is out due to a strike or holdout, the fundamental ratings-driving appeal of the league's youthful talent remains intact. The inescapable, albeit harsh, conclusion is that it's the veteran players, and more specifically, the long-term back-end veteran players who are now, regrettably, screwing this all up. Their demands, their perceived intransigence, their seemingly personal vendettas against the league for past grievances are jeopardizing the very financial security and stability that could be so transformative for their lesser-known, often lower-paid counterparts. Simultaneously, they are risking the league's newfound surge in popularity, a momentum primarily driven by the fresh faces and electrifying talent of those very rookies. This is a precarious game, and the stakes are monumentally high. This entire unfolding saga, the very essence of this negotiation, is a moment of profound wow. It is a truly wild development, demonstrating the stark contrast between two very different strategic approaches. The league's latest move, while perhaps not immediately leading to a flurry of contract signings, is in its strategic depth such a smart move. Let us not for a moment underestimate the intelligence of the league's front office. They are not dumb. They fully comprehend that these players are not going to sign those qualifying offers under the old terms, but the true, understated brilliance of this gambit lies in its psychological impact. It gets the players to thinking about their money and where they want to go. This subtle yet powerful pressure forces a personal, introspective calculation of risk versus reward, a direct confrontation with the tangible, life-altering financial benefits they are currently poised to reject. And let us be unequivocally candid about the current state of the WNBA as a professional product. The casual suggestion, often floated, of simply having a 3-week off-season before resuming play is frankly a profound detachment from reality. For a league that still, despite its recent surge in popularity, exhibits significant growing pains in its overall presentation and operational professionalism, you need all the time you can get. I have, on numerous occasions, highlighted the often Bush League quality of some of these telecasts. The experience of tuning into some Atlanta Dream game and it's like, am I watching single-A rookie baseball with the quality of this broadcast, is a sentiment echoed by a disconcertingly large number of viewers. There are fundamental, structural issues ranging from inconsistent production values and marketing to logistical challenges that this league needs as much time to get together and do professionally as possible. A truncated off-season, a period of prolonged labor strife, or a work stoppage would not only undermine the substantial financial gains being offered, but would also severely impede the crucial, painstaking developmental steps necessary for the WNBA to truly establish itself as a top-tier professional sports league, deserving of sustained national and international attention. The choice, therefore, is laid bare for all to see. The money is there, tangible and substantial, unprecedented in the league's history. The league's future, vibrant and brimming with untapped potential, is waiting to be seized. Yet, the current trajectory, driven by what appears to be a profound misreading of both economic reality and public sentiment, threatens to squander this truly unprecedented moment. It leaves us, as observers and analysts, to ponder the ultimate incalculable price of this deepening discord. The clock is ticking, the rhetoric is escalating, and the public, once largely sympathetic, is becoming increasingly alienated. The future of the WNBA now stands at a truly critical juncture, suspended precariously between the immense promise offered by its surging popularity and the very real, self-inflicted threat of a work stoppage. The decisions made in the coming days and weeks will not merely shape the terms of the next collective bargaining agreement, they will, in all probability, determine the very longevity and fundamental viability of the league itself. It is a moment that demands not just passion and advocacy, but profound wisdom, a quality that, at this particular stage, appears to be in dangerously short supply from one side of the negotiating table. Tell me what you truly think. Do the players, in their current approach, fully grasp the long-term, potentially catastrophic consequences of their demands? Or are they, in a tragic irony, steering this entire enterprise, this golden opportunity, towards an entirely avoidable cliff? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, because this story isn't just ongoing. It's intensifying with each passing day, and the ultimate outcome remains deeply, unsettlingly uncertain.